Hi there, Anthony Vanderwood with another Actifio Tech Tip. This week I'm answering the question, can Actifio work with Oracle's direct NFS client? So I'm going to give you this answer in the form of three parts, the short, a medium and a long. So short answer, can I use direct NFS with Actifio Virtual Data Pipeline? Yes. If that was all you're looking for, we're done. Thanks for listening. Let's go to the medium answer. How do I set this thing up? How do I actually use Actifio Virtual Data Pipeline with Oracle's direct NFS client? Well, the answer is go to the Oracle DBA guide. It has all the information you're going to need. It's a fantastic, comprehensive book. There is a new chapter in it, which is entitled Configuring dNFS for Protecting and Mounting Virtual Oracle Databases. If your DBA guide doesn't have it, you're looking at a down-level version, go to Actifio now and get your up-level version, or hit me up at av@actifio.com and I'll send you that copy. All right, that's how I set it up. That was your medium length answer. You're done. Still interested? Not a problem. Hang around for the long answer and I will give you a demo. So if you're sitting here wondering what the hell direct NFS is, of course you could easily Google it. Probably one good site here is on the Belsa Consulting site. They have a great tip here which talks about the benefits of direct NFS and discusses how to set it up and so on. From an Actifio perspective, there's two halves to the job. The first half is there is a host setting per host that we need to define to say whether or not a host should use direct NFS or not direct NFS. So I'm looking at my Actifio Global Manager here. I'm going to go Manage Hosts. Now, once we bring the host panel up, I've kind of cheated a little here because I've actually put a filter value in of Oracle. I'm going to choose the host that I'm interested in, right select that host, choose Edit. And then we get this really nice little panel here that describes the four possible paths that we can use from the Actifio appliance to the host. And the one that we want to use here is NFS to guest. Now, if this is not unblocked, then we need to change this over here to Staging Disk Properties, NFS, because what we're going to be doing is using a NFS formatted staging disk. Now, the interesting thing is if I scoot down here and hit save, I'll get a host update operation is successful. And at that point, I'm done. So, if we go back in and have another look at the host, we can see the host is now set to NFS. Now, if you did nothing else, would simply start using native NFS, and that's the end of the story. If we want to use direct NFS, now we need to go across to the host and make some more changes there. Otherwise, we'll just use regular NFS from here on. So I've logged onto my Oracle host, and one of the things I got a little ahead of myself in that I said, hey, we can enable NFS on the Actifio side and then we'll always use NFS. But actually, that's only true if the host side actually has the NFS RPMs installed, which it does in this case. That's usually the case, but I thought I'd warn you about that. Now, in a classic, cut the red wire, but first cut the green wire, we run two commands to enable dNFS, which is this here in step 2, but if you notice, step 3 has a bit of a sting in the tail. These two steps basically just set us up. Step 3 says restart the databases. So clearly, if we're not ready to do that from a change window perspective, then we need to schedule this for a good time. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to restart the database. So I'm going to log in as a SQL plus / as sysdba. Hopefully I'm typing that right. We'll do a beautiful command here. And then I'm going to restart the database. All right, so by the magic of pausing and starting, we've shut it down, and now we're ready to start up. So I'm going to pause again, wait for that to start. Now, my database has started, and of course the question is, all right, am I really using dNFS? So there's a couple of things here. If we look closely, we can see down here there is a select, which would let us actually determine if we've got any dNFS activity. Now, the thing is, of course, nothing's happened yet, so that's not likely to occur. The other thing is to go look in the alert log. So let's go and do that. So I'm just going to quit out of SQL, and I'm going to look into the alert log. So let's just clear the screen. Now, I previously worked out the location of the alert log, but I'm going to grep for direct NFS. Notice it's case sensitive, so if you don't like typing with exact case, use -I. And I'm grepping the alert log for my database, and bang, I can actually see that it is started with the direct NFS ODM. So that matches up with this claim here, which is good, which means that I think I'm ready to go now. So what we can do is we can kick off a backup, and we'll validate that the backup is actually using direct NFS. So I've gone back to my AGM. I'm going to find my database in question. At this point, it's already been protected, so I'm going to go to Manage SLA. We can see the policy that's protecting it. I'm going to open up the snapshot section and I'm going to run a database backup. So that was submitted successfully. So now I wander over to the monitor jobs and I'm going to monitor the job. And I can see my snapshot here for DMDB is running. There's a job. It's kicked off. It's only 4% right now. But what we're interested to do is going back and having a look at the actual host. So we're going to do that right now. So our snapshot is now running, and the first hint that it's running is if I run df, you can actually see this line down here. This is the Actifio staging disk being presented to the host by job 227.108.1.2, and this is an NFS staging disk. You can tell because it's NFS, right? It's coming from the IP address of my Actifio appliance. The other hint is that command that we looked at in the Oracle DBA guide, which is this command here. This basically shows us dNFS stats. When we ran this before, it was empty because we hadn't run a snapshot. We run it again, and bang, we can see that dNFS is in use, and you can actually see a direct line up here. That's the guy I just pointed out to you in the df command. All right, so what we've done is we've successfully enabled dNFS on the host. We've told Actifio to use NFS as a staging disk. The two are now happily married up, and we're now using direct NFS. Okay, hopefully that was useful to you. Thank you very much for listening.